What is going on, guys? Good morning. I think everybody is excited for this morning's discussion. I have heard your comments. I've heard the people on the last review that I did for Mayans MC season 3, episode 9. We are one episode. We're next week's the season finales, guys. Season finale. Season's already almost over. Luckily, we got another season. Season 4 getting renewed. I am here with the lovely Taylor. Good morning, Taylor.
Good morning.
Now, just to let you guys know once again. Oh, damn, those comments were hit quick. Let me say good morning to Paul. What's up, Paul? Joe, Randy. So, just to remind you guys, these breakdowns and predictions, me and Taylor, all we do is when we text each other, we send our overall rating. We have not discussed this episode. We have all of our thoughts, all of our opinions. This is the first time both of us are hearing both sides of the coin on this episode.
And I don't watch your reviews. I know you put your reviews out first, but I stay clear of them until the Thursday mornings. Yeah, I don't talk to you. I don't watch the videos until you and I talk first.
Yes. So exactly. So when we're talking like we're raw. We're going at this is more so this time around. I think we're going to have a little bit more of a different opinion. Just to let you guys know, when I do my reviews, I watch the episode, and right after the episode, I'm on those reviews. It's like 11, or that this time around it was like 11:30 when I just hit that review, and you get my raw emotion. You get me just talking from the heart. Like, those are raw reviews. Here, I have a data process. I rewatch the episode before we get on, so I'm a little bit more calmer. I'm a little bit more. This is the time where I really break it down on why I felt this certain way, and why what I thought about the episode. And I love the feedback that Taylor gives and the different opinions. So I just love these discussions. So with that out of the way, we're gonna dive right into it. And Taylor, we text each other, and I gave this a 7 out of 10 on my rating. What was your rating? What was your thoughts on the episode? And holy crap, it was an hour and 5 minutes. So that was a long episode.
I'm probably I'm sure people will disagree with me, but I texted you after I finished it, and I gave it a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. So why'd you give it such a high rating? Well, I would love to hear your thoughts on this episode.
Well, the main reason that I rated it really high was because I just feel like I know that the writing is going somewhere. And for me, it was really just the writing. I think Elgin is just doing, in my opinion, a really good job.
Yeah,
I know you're just like, yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, but no. Continue, Taylor. Like, what were some of the things that you saw in the writing on this episode? Like, what made you like feel that way on some of? Because there's this episode. Some parts it seemed like it kind of slowed down a little bit because of like the dialogue. But if you think about it, it was a fast paced episode because of a lot of the story. They put all the storylines in this episode.
Yeah, they all came together. And now, and here's something that I do try to remind myself as I'm watching every single week is like, I'm only watching one episode at a time. I can't be too hard. I could be confused in the moment. That's natural to not know where a certain storyline is going or what a character's motivations are, and to not understand that right away. But in this week's episode, it just really all came together for me. And I did kind of like the writing. I like what is happening with Adelita. We got to see Adelita, and we got to see where that's going. I am really shocked and interested in what's going on with Emily Miguel now. Easy, we all know that Easy and Angel, they've got some stuff going on. And I don't know. I just felt like it's all coming together in a better way right now to end off this season. And I feel even better now that there's a season 4. So I think that's why I gave it so high.
Oh yeah, the relief of just this is so great going into like this episode, knowing that yes, there's a season. You know, it's happening. Season 4 is happening. Matrix, it showed like it was an hour and a half, but when you take out the commercials, it was an hour and 5 minutes. Just to let you know.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome guys. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, Taylor. So listen guys. I mean, I'm very when I'm brutally honest. I mean, if I don't like something, I don't like something. If I love something, I love something. I will
Sure.
tell you straight out. Was I a little bit harsh on the episode this week? Yeah, probably. But do I have some valid points? You're goddamn right, I do. So Taylor, I disagree. I think this episode was the messiest writing I've seen this season.
Oh, really?
Yes. So the Adelita thing, it's very interesting. I did like that, but then I didn't also because of the fact that okay, it seemed like it looks like she's gonna sacrifice herself.
It does look like it's headed down some kind of like martyrdom path. I will
Mm-hmm.
give you that. I kind of did. I liked the blanket statement of like, you know, like tu eres Adelita, yo soy Adelita. Like they have like this new, you know, I feel like the Alvidaldos are just like they're still kind of them, but
Mm-hmm.
now it's like a singular purpose. Like they're doing what Adelita wants them to do. Like she tried to do like be the little warrior from Mexico, and it
Uh-huh.
just didn't work out. She had people backstab her, people betray her. When she was in the time of need, nobody came for her.
Yeah.
And now she's cutting everyone down, and like we said, she's gonna go scorched earth. So with that in mind, do you think that's gonna be it for Adelita? Do you think that her character is probably gonna go out?
I really felt that way at the end of the episode because she made Minnie go like, "I am Adelita," you know.
Mm-hmm.
Minnie is kind of like it seemed like she's telling her, "You're the one that's going to take over." So at first I didn't like it because I was like, "Oh, that's pretty messed up, Adelita. You bring her out of her sniffing paint and go back to murdering people and say like, listen, you're going to take over. And I'm going to be bouncing. All right, peace." But when I thought about it more, I was like, you know what? But it's like a purpose for Minnie, right? Minnie now has a purpose in life because she was just like sniffing pain, not doing it, like she was lost, and now Adelita's giving her like a goal, a mission. So I understand that, but the frustration with me, if it happens, so a lot of the frustration in this episode, this is why I said in my review, but there's still light at the end of the tunnel, where I think the season finale is really going to knock it out of the park because I need to see where this goes in the season finale. So the Adelita situation, is she going to die in the next episode? Is she going to sacrifice? Who is she meeting? We saw the when she was talking to Minnie, we saw in the background it was Miguel and the his mistress. The was it the governor?
Yeah, Governor. I
Uh,
think her name is Montserrat Palomo.
yeah, it's a
If I
very long
remember
name.
correctly.
It's a
Yeah.
very long name, which I like the death on that. It was kind of
Uh,
I was
yeah.
looking for windows in the bathroom, like how they can escape that
Yeah.
bathroom. So if Adelita if Adelita dies next season, for me the frustration is that's such a wasted character. That's such a wasted. That's there was no. I This episode felt like a lot of things weren't earned. So with Adelita, there was not enough screen time for her, and I know the potential of this character even going further. So if she sacrifices herself or something happens in the season finale, I feel a hole left in my heart on that one. You know,
Hmm.
so that was the frustration. I'm like, don't tell me they're going to go down this route. Don't tell me, like, I mean, you still have. I think she's going to go after Miguel.
Yeah.
There,
Yes, she is for sure.
there's like a small possibility she maybe know where Potter is. Small, very small. So you see, there's like other storylines still that needs to be like, and I don't think I don't think it'd be properly wrapped in a season finale for her. If she dies, I just feel like there's more to this character for season 4 instead of ending it at the end of the season. That's how I feel about it, Taylor.
Yeah. Okay. That's understandable for sure.
Like I said, I think we're gonna go from plot. We should do that. We'll go from plot to plot, and then just kind of
Yeah,
like
sure. And to tie on to what you just said, there's we've said this through many conversations. If they're not doing a lot of stuff with a character, we talked about shedding the dead weight. And for me, if Elgin decided to end Adelita's story here, I would understand that decision. I wouldn't say that she had like the best character arc over those 3 seasons. I would always say that there was more to be done there. But if it means that a season 4 could be stronger if Adelita's story ends here, then I would accept that.
I think for me, it's like, I think that season 4 could be strong because this character has so much potential. And I just think the writing, they really haven't used her properly. And you're right, I think for like 3 seasons now, like there's potential right there. So if they end, I just feel like with a character that's been throughout these whole seasons, it's kind of like the Marcus thing, where I feel like Marcus, it seems like that's a kind of a similar situation, that I feel like these 2 deaths are not yet earned. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I think we should go to Marcus real quick, like, because Marcus had a small scene, or he had a couple, not small, but he had some scenes this episode.
I gotta tell you, I really felt Emilio's emotion, like when he was talking, as Alvarez and his wife in the hallway there.
Yeah.
Because that's like Paco's son that they're taking care of now. The little boy with Down syndrome.
Oh, so that was Paco's son.
That's Paco's son.
Okay.
So they took him in.
Yeah.
And you can just tell, like, not Emilio. I'm talking about the actual actor, Alvarez.
Emilio. Yeah. We love Emilio, man.
He's at a point in his life where he doesn't know what could happen, and you can actually kind of tell that he's actually kind of afraid. Like, he got out of the truck and he had a gun strapped to his waist because he was thinking that Miguel was gonna unload on him just like he did Paco. And I couldn't tell if Miguel was saving Alvarez for like another confrontation later, or if he really believed that Alvarez was on his side. Because Miguel did bring up, hey, look, you've had issues with where your loyalty lies in the past. It's time to decide, will you kill Easy Reyes? And at that point I was like, what? That blew my mind when he said that. I was like, okay, so I need to see what happens there, because here's the thing. Either, like, Alvarez, I don't believe he could do it, and he wouldn't do it. They're not going to kill the main character, so that's out. So now I'm thinking,
that's so out. It would be ballsy. It would be ballsy out for sure, but they're not going to do that after like.
No, they're not going to do that. So that leaves me wondering. Okay, so Alvarez is not going to be able to prove himself to Miguel. So where does that leave Alvarez?
I was interested to see what Nestor had to say. And it seemed like Nestor was he took the pin on this one, but you're right. I don't know though, right? It's because
Nestor's playing. You can tell he's playing a slow burn. I think he wants to take Alvarez's place. Remember, Nestor got bumped aside to make way for Alvarez, and I think Nestor's always had that grudge against Alvarez, and
he's good at hiding it. Because I never really feel
he's really good at hiding it, and he's good at saving bits of information to use or hand to Miguel later when it suits Nestor. So, and it does make Alvarez look like he's not sharing everything.
Yeah, I did.
Or being 100% honest. So there's this little jealousy thing happening there, and it's kind of subtle. You could miss it if you weren't really paying attention, but I think they're gonna try to get rid of Alvarez. But hey, I think we've been saying this for a while now, so who knows? We could be wrong.
We said that that's a big possibility. It looks like it might tie into our another prediction with Easy and Gabby. So we're gonna just have to see on that season finale. We'll get to Easy and Gabby in a little bit. For Alvarez, for me, for Marcus, like I love this character. I feel like if they do commit to that death, once again, it just doesn't feel earned because he just hasn't been in the season throughout. He hasn't really been in the season, and I feel like there's a lot of storylines that were definitely showcased this episode that they really could have got rid of some of these storylines and really focus. If you're going to do a big death like that, you really need to build it up. So that's what I mean, like not being earned, but we don't know yet. We don't know if he's going to die. I'm hoping. I mean, of course, like his loyalty is for the Mayans, even though he's not a Mayan. I do like the conflict between him and Miguel. But we'll talk about how after the episode, Miguel is not threatening whatsoever to me anymore. So whatever he barks at Alvarez, I don't really take it too seriously. I actually take what you're saying is Nestor seriously because of the little grudge that I guess he could have for Alvarez. But I do love the part where he has the gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's confronting Miguel, and this dude was about to go Western on their ass. I love that part. And then he's like, no, okay, okay, we're gonna. Marcus is a smart man, so I could see him living through the season. So he's a smart cat. So I could see him, maybe. A lot of people say he might take over the cartel. I don't know. That's gonna be interesting. If that they have to decide to kill off Miguel, it seems like they're setting up for some big things with the whole cartel storyline.
Yeah,
which has actually got me. That's the one thing I was like really really excited for.
Yeah.
We're gonna go back to Adelita real quick because Caden Kaiser, you're absolutely right on this one. Or well, you bring up a good point. I mean, Adelita, come on. In season 1, you guys knew how to ambush and assassinate people. Now in the last episode, we saw rebels with shaven heads just run up on people with knives that were very sloppy. So, Taylor, when I was rewatching it, I thought that scene was interesting. I did feel the impact of when like they got the one little kid down and like she or he's screaming their little head off. It felt like a kind of like a Attack of the Master of Puppets kind of scenario there. It's just what it feel like. But I was like so baffled that they had their knives out while slowly walking to the governor. I'm like, pull those knives out when you're like when you're close. Don't do it while you're walking through people. People can see that. So what's your thoughts on that ambush attack?
Well, that's one thing that I thought could have been a little bit more like cleaner per se. I mean, just for like realism's sake. But I mean, look, and it's hard for me to deduct points for that anymore because it's just such an integral part of the show. I mean, this show has always had parts where you're like, hey, that's not realistic. So if I were to deduct points for, something like that, it's just a part of the show. So I mean, I've learned to be a little less picky on stuff like that and just enjoy what I'm watching.
That wasn't me, Taylor.
No,
that was not me. I was like, that doesn't, like, you could clearly fix that very easily. I thought that the episode was well directed, though. I thought Elgin did a good job. It wasn't like, I've seen more imagination in earlier episodes, but I thought he did a good job. I think after rewatching it the second time, I think he used the music really great.
The music was well used in this episode.
Well used. And it was like music that you wouldn't think would fit into like a scene.
But it does.
But it does, exactly. So it's funny that you touched on realism because the decisions that a lot of these people made in this episode was not realistic to me. And that's why I deduct a lot of points. Because
I know. I just I have this framework where I'm just like, at the end of the day, it's a fiction and these aren't real characters. I mean, so like, I don't know. Maybe I just feel different after 3 years of watching the show. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You
know what? I'm strict. Like, I can't let it go. if you
And
if
like Bad Trip says, sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Dan, but
oh,
this
go
kind of
right
goes
ahead.
with what we're talking about.
Yeah, let's
So
do it.
Bad Trip says, I think the ambush was a distraction to move her into the washroom so that the new little Adelita could stab her. And that's exactly what I was, that's how I viewed it. Maybe everyone else viewed it differently. We're like, oh, they wouldn't really be walking with all the knives out. Well, that's how I viewed it. I just didn't say it like in the best way possible. So I'm glad Bad Trips mentioned that.
Well, the
So
funny,
yeah, you create this commotion, and then
yeah,
of course her personal guards shuffle her into the washroom, which is where Adelita and Minnie are waiting for her. And it was like, I mean, I liked when he started kicking the bathroom doors open to
that was
clear the
great.
bathroom,
That was
and then
great. Yeah,
as soon as he opens one door, pop, like immediately he goes down, and she's just alone, confronted with
yeah,
one of her worst enemies. And I thought the way that Minnie took her down was very personal.
uh-huh,
When you do a knife kill like that, it's up close and personal. There's a lot of anger behind it. They could
yeah.
have just shot her, but they didn't.
No, yeah, yeah. It was like it was a rebirth, so to speak, with Minnie. She's Adelita now. You know.
Well, that's why you saw her wearing the rabbit mask, because yes, I mean, I think, look, I would be okay if I was wrong, but I do think that they're shaping her story to have Minnie replace her, or to have Adelita die, or maybe,
That's what I got out of it. That's exactly what
yeah,
I got out of it in this
yeah.
episode.
It just, I mean, when I saw her wearing the mask, it really just kind of made me think that Adelita is not going to be around for very long.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I'm gonna say, man, you guys are not gonna like me today, because I'm gonna say that she almost got her though. Like I get the ambush attempt, but it's like it accomplishes the same thing though, whether it's in the bathroom or whether it's getting stabbed by that kid. So having, and then you didn't even, if you think about it, if they're going for that plan, right? Who says they go rush out into the bathroom? What if they go out the front door and just hightail it out of there? But I think it just really, that scenario, it still would accomplish the same what Adelita's trying to do, is try to kill this woman. So either having the kid kill her or having Minnie kill her, it's accomplishing the same goal. So that's why I thought that was a little sloppy. My whole issue is just the overall. They had the knives out before they attempted the murder, and then but I do get the ambush. I just feel like you could accomplish it either way. But that's my take on it. So that's why I feel like it's I'm always preaching execution,
Mm-hmm.
and I just felt like this episode was sloppy in some of the execution and some of the decision making. That's my whole thing. But overall, I am excited to see what happens now. What does Adelita? We say that Adelita's probably going to go after Miguel. I mean, we got this whole the Conchi and everybody going after Miguel now too. So like, there's for Adelita's story, I am curious to see how they handle it in season finale. So
Yeah,
that's my thoughts on that one.
definitely.
Good morning, vegan. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the breakdown / prediction. We just talked about Adelita. Me and Taylor, we got different opinions on this episode, but that's great. If everybody had the same damn opinion and everybody agreed all the time, it would be like Raya, boring. We don't want to, we don't have to agree all the time. I'm sorry. All right, I threw a little shade from Raya. I took my son to go see Raya, his first movie experience. So I really need to rewatch that movie. So let's see. Welcome everybody. I know you guys got a lot of questions. We will get to them. Gary, check this out. Gary said, "I am Negan." That's a good one. So let's talk. The one thing I was really excited for, Taylor, is, and it makes perfect sense. I don't know why I didn't think about it. So Paulo reaches out to Conchi, and remember Paulo is a Vatos, but
Mm-hmm.
his whole thing is, okay. He brought Conchi in the Mayans to meet up with El Paquera, and I like El Paquera. I heard somebody told me that that's actually the husband of Adelita in real life. which is
Oh,
which is a
it,
trip.
that's
Yeah,
an interesting fun fact.
right. That's really fun. So
Okay.
the scene to me, I really like that scene. I really like how he's watching like ostriches. If you guys don't know what he's talking about in his little speech, he's absolutely right. An ostrich almost killed Johnny Cash one time. If you guys don't know, if you guys ever heard of that, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that little piece of that whole conversation because it
Hmm.
seems, I mean, to maybe to some people, it would seem like, okay, why is he like babbling on about this?
Hmm.
Well, that just made me think like that Elgin was still not only doing his own stuff in terms of the writing, but also doing some of the things that Sutter would have done in previous seasons. Or, I felt like not only was Elgin doing his own thing, but he was also, doing some things that Sutter might have done because Sutter would do that in his writing. He would
Hmm.
have a character go on like a monologue of things that had nothing to do with exactly what was going on, but was full of like undertones.
Yes, and
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 yeah,
that's great. I think that's when it's done properly. Isaac does the same thing in this episode, but that one, I don't know. I felt like that
yeah,
one was
Isaac
it
did
gave
do the
you.
exact same thing. So
Yeah, so I did like that whole it kind of, and it also really reminded me of Scarface, like
yeah.
when the scene where he's in the bathtub, he's like fly pelican fly, and it's actually a flamingo, which is hilarious. So I really like how that whole situation that's building up, basically taking out Galindo, and I felt Elgin was speaking to the fans when he gave the line to El Baquera, and he's like, "Oh, Galindo, 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 so boring."
Yeah, I did.
I felt that way.
I liked that line of dialogue because I was like,
Yeah,
I remember leaning forward on the couch and just being like, yeah, are you trying now, Elgin, to like say what we're
yeah,
thinking?
yeah. I think there's a lot this season that he puts these lines
I
in the
think he's
writing.
noticed, yeah, I think he's kind of like sometimes talking to us, and I could be wrong, but I just get that feeling sometimes. And
No,
I have to
for
say,
sure. Yeah.
I don't think I don't think this writing was bad. I know you feel differently, but I
Hmm.
think that the plan for Paulo to displace the Santo Padre charter
Yeah.
and Miguel and break up that relationship and
Yeah.
replace that relationship
Yeah.
with the banker of the Lobo Sonora cartel
Hmm.
with Conchi's crew. That's Yuma, I believe, if I
Yeah. It's
remember
Yuma. It's Yuma.
Yuma.
Hmm.
So, and then he wants to be patched over as a Mayan because, I mean, his club
Yeah.
is all gone.
Yeah. That's that.
There's
That.
no
Uh
more
huh.
Vatos, Malditos. So if he's going to be in a club, he wants to be in where he's going to get a piece of the pie that he set all of this up. But here's
Smart.
the thing: who would trust this dude? Like, you know
I
what I'm talking about?
but he's bringing shit to the table. He brought a full course meal. He said dig in. Not necessarily, you never trust anybody, honestly,
Yeah,
but this dude is an asset. He's valuable. He's bringing. If you think about it, he's like easy. He's
he's
fixing that
playing the
situation.
long game because when
Uh-huh.
I was starting out this season, I was thinking, okay, he's gonna roll up there, he's gonna try to kill Taza, or Taza, they're gonna have to fight, and it's turning out in a way that I didn't predict, and I actually enjoy that. I like
No,
not knowing what's gonna happen and being
absolutely.
surprised by the plot.
Absolutely. So this was the big bright spot I had for the episode. This is why I gave it a 7 out of 10. Is because this I didn't really think about too much, and everything that came together with that meeting was so great. It would make sense. It would make sense that Paula would do this, and Conchi needs this because about to go against Bishop is about to launch his new plan. How the wrench is thrown on this one. Like there's so much that could happen in the season finale after this meetup, after this alliance. This is like the deadly alliance, right? From Mortal Kombat. This is great. This is great stuff. This is what I was like expecting, right? So with the season finale, I mean, you got some there might be some bloodshed in the season finale for sure. And there might be some new power moves, new power players. Like we might for me, the scene was kind of like we introduced this Baqueta guy, the banker guy, right?
Hmm.
This dude's gonna be maybe a force to be reckoned next season. That was like another kind of like to me a
Yeah,
setup you know?
Yes. So for me, it seems like they're just letting you know, okay, he's here, and we're giving you like a peek of the deals because look, you can't always have the show be like gunfight, gunfight, bang, bang, bang,
Yeah.
pew, pew, pew. You know, you got to have
Pew pew
like,
pew. I like that.
and you got to have people actually like making like plans and setting things in motion because, I mean, if everyone ran around blowing each other's clubs up, shooting each other all the time, I mean, you're going to draw way too much attention on yourselves. Like
Yes.
it kind of just makes you realize that Paolo is smarter than you think he is. And then you understand where Taza's coming from when Taza is
So
concerned and he brings it.
get this
Yeah,
motherfucker now.
he
Yes.
brings it up to Bishop and Bishop's like, man, will you just let that shit go? And Taza's like, no, you don't understand. And now I understand now that we're in episode 9 because I'm seeing it for myself. Now I know that, okay, the reason he didn't just show up and kill Taza is because he's got a other plan in mind. He's going to make other people do his work for him.
That's what I said. I said that Bishop, this is going to bite him in the ass. But it's also biting Miguel in the ass. And then that's Miguel too, because he wasn't focused on what he needed to be focused on.
Oh, that's Miguel's fault.
Yeah. And then we find out that the governor was like in on with the banker. So those two were working together. I think that's clear confirmation. So like I said, guys, you can't just focus on the negative, right? If you're going to critique something and if you're going to have people really kind of listen to you, you got to know that there's good in this show. And that was the bright spot of this episode. I thought this whole thing, Paulo's plan, executed beautifully. It seems like it seems like all him being missing a couple episodes here and there, but them handling that situation has been great. He's been bringing stuff to the table.
Yeah.
What I'm really interested now, since we're still on the subject with Paulo, we get it, Taylor. It was a little bit later, but we got it.
And it was kind of brief, yeah.
Brief going into season finale, but Paulo is with his sister Laura.
Yeah, he shows up to Laura's apartment. She's like, "Oh,
where's David? Where's David? Where's the kid?" So that's a juicy part right there. That's the little cliffhanger.
Yeah, because
really
they kind of just left it there where he just shows up. So, and Taza did tell Laura, "Look, have you seen your brother? If you do hear from him, will you please reach out to me?" So the question that I have is, did Laura walk away from that confrontation? Did she walk away from that? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it a part of Paulo's plan to show up knowing that his sister is going to run to Taza and planting that seed for himself down the road? Do you know what I'm saying?
No. Yeah. I mean, it's
like he did it deliberately. No, does he think that Laura would run to Taza and she would set off Paulo's own plan? You know what I mean?
If that's the case, then Paulo is like a magician or like a.
I guess so. He's been underrated thus far.
Yeah. Well, I always like Paulo. I hope it seems like in a promo they will have a conversation, Paulo and Taza. I don't know if you saw the promo, but it seems like they're having a little one-on-one there. That's why we're gonna get some Mortal Kombat going on. This comment right here, I love this. So the Otis Taylor, why does Paulo want to patch over to the Mayans?
It's Thetis. Sorry, it's Thetis.
Oh, is it Thetis? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Thetis. I'm blind, guys. Come on, guys. Why does Paulo want to patch over to the Mayans? Well, just like you said, Taylor. I mean, he
wants a piece of that pie. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, all his crew is dead.
He said, yeah, all his own crew is dead. He's setting up for this club to make a lot more money, and that's something that Kanchi always hated about Bishop was that they were the ones in charge of everything, right? Because they were the first door that the Galindo drugs had to pass through before it reached every other chapter. So Kanchi is feeling totally fine to take Bishop's place and be that front door of access of drugs
he would ever want.
Exactly. And so I think I wouldn't put it past Kanchi to be like, all right, so the only thing that you want is to be patched in, fine. But that's like that just shows the fault in Kanchi to trust Paulo. You know what I mean?
But I think Conchi's desperate too, though.
Oh yeah, well yeah,
He
I
needs.
think a lot of them are at this point because
Mhm.
well, money has been really tight. I mean, we've seen a lot of not just the chapters
Yeah.
relationships fall apart, but internally, we watched I mean, and we'll have to move on and talk about like Coco and Steve and all them too.
Yeah, I want to save them for a little bit down the line, but we're gonna talk. We're gonna get to that, guys. We're gonna get to that. I will say though, it's not shown, but I also think Conchi, like after Ramos's death, I think he's feeling a little, he's feeling a little scared, just a little bit.
I think he's feeling a little power hungry.
He's definitely feeling power hungry for sure, but he feels. I think he's like, we got to take out Bishop and the crew now.
Hmm.
So good morning, Alex. I love this comment, Taylor. Just gonna speak on it real quick. It's he
Okay.
said Montez is well preserved. No SOA stuff this episode. I'm assuming that they're saving it for maybe like the very end of the season finale because we still have that whole storyline. But well, like me and Taylor said, I think they're gonna save that for that's gonna be the hook probably for season 4.
Yeah, and I like that they're taking a break from the Suns because
Yes,
I need to find out what happens in these other story arcs. And if
there's
you're
so
shoving Suns in my
many.
face, I don't.
There's
Yeah,
so
there's so
many.
many storylines I to focus on as it is. So
Good morning, Jesus, or Jesus Rodriguez. Good morning, guys. So we'll get to, let's see. Gary says Conchi will get his death justified if he patch a man who has no respect for the club.
thank you for saying that. I
That's
agree.
Gary. That's Gary.
Yeah, thank you,
So,
Gary.
so I think Conchi is going to die, absolutely, in the season finale. But by whose hands, we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see who does it. So let's move on to another. Okay, so we're back at it. This is where I said this is another point where I was like the writing's very. They didn't. This is the moment. This was the moment, and they didn't do it. This was Jordan, Game 6, Utah Jazz, last shot. If he would have missed it, or if he would have passed it and had somebody else take that shot.
I love your metaphors.
Thank you. This is how I get people to somewhat see where I'm talking about. Guys, they missed the shot. This was that feeling. This should have won the game. Miguel and Emily. Very confusing though how he did not ask Emily before he was going to kill her questions. I was very confused by that. But he drugs her up, right? And then Emily looking fire. So fine.
The jogging thing is working for her, I guess.
Jogging thing's working for her with the
Got some
sweatshirt all out. Like, look at sis, look what Miguel did to me. I guess we should cover that real quick. Taylor, the sister thing is just unnecessary. We don't need this.
I see that they're moving away from it a little bit because what Emily said that her sister Erin bounced.
Yeah, like what do you hear? You hear for more money, and then I thought,
which is what I was suspicious of Erin the entire time. I had this deep sitting suspicion that Erin wasn't just visiting her nephew and chilling with her big sis. She was like maybe deep down, and Emily sensed it too. Like, you're just here to get more money from us because you always need us to bail you out of a situation and you need money. So, I mean,
she didn't take the money. She didn't take it this time.
Erin obviously notices that there's some stuff going on. Erin knows that Miguel is involved in criminal activity, but maybe she doesn't know to what extent. But she does know that he's not who he pretends to be. She's not that dumb.
But Emily throws it right back at
you. She throws it right back, yeah.
This is where I agree with Emily. Like, I know my husband, well, she didn't know him.
Don't talk shit about my husband.
Exactly. You never liked him. Like, she really throws it at her. And I actually think Emily won on that conversation. But, and then, like, her sister wants to throw it back at her and say, like, I don't need your blood money. You needed it before. You happily took it before. So you're being a freaking hypocrite there. But the only way I could see why they introduced her sister was maybe these little inner conflicts, and maybe Emily now realizing, oh, Miguel's gonna kill me, take her kid and go run away with Aaron. But man, honestly, that doesn't really justify it to me. like you could still do that without the sister, and you could have used that time with other characters that need it. This is like the perfect example. Like you could have just not, you did not. What does Aaron really change in the story? Really nothing. You could have told this story just with Emily still. Like it just baffles me. And I was really upset seeing this whole thing. Like this doesn't like it's not paying off for me, Taylor. It's not paying off for me on
Okay.
that situation.
I mean, I've not been lying about this the whole time. The
Yeah.
Emily Miguel storylines were never my favorite.
Yeah, a lot of people agree on that though. A lot of
Yeah,
people agree on that drama. Yeah.
it was never my favorite storylines. I have to say though, I was shocked um, that Miguel decided
Mm-hmm.
one to try to kill his wife
Mm-hmm.
in the craziest way possible, and I'm sitting there like nervously watching this
Smart
scene.
way. The smart way.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
very smart way, because we always knew that she was taking like it looks like relaxer medication,
Yeah.
like anti-anxiety, something like that.
Just to cut you off
So
real quick. That's the strong point of the writing though, is they did introduce that throughout the whole season.
yes, they
So
did.
that's a
Yeah,
strong point. Yes. Yeah. Go ahead, Taylor. Keep going, man. Keep
yeah.
going.
So to have it show up again and in this way made a lot of sense to me. Okay, so what I found really nervous to watch was just I was like watching her in the bathtub that he
Mm-hmm.
set up for her, and I'm like, oh
With the
my God,
pills.
this is not gonna
Mm-hmm.
end well. Like
Oh,
I had
we
this
all
bad
knew.
feeling.
We all knew.
And then he
Uh,
goes to fill her wine glass and he's crushing up the pills. I'm like, oh shit. And I have to say, I really did like the way that it was acted
oh yeah,
because
the music in there too was
yeah, like
phenomenal.
the
Yeah.
way the scene was framed was it held my attention for sure.
I like the playfulness they had before, like we get to the darker
Right.
tone. I
And it
thought that
was
was nice.
creepy though. It was like
Mm-hmm.
creepy to watch because
That
you
was
just
great.
knew what Miguel was gonna do. And
Yeah.
when he pushes her head under the water, I was like, oh my God,
I thought she was
this is
gonna.
it. I
Yeah.
thought she was dead for
I
sure.
thought he was gonna like suffocate her,
Oh
hold her
no,
down.
he's too. I was
No.
like, no, he's not gonna like do it like Celia and
Yeah.
Coco, but yeah, he made it look like she took too many pills, took a bath, fell asleep, and
Smart.
drowned.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He probably would have gotten away with it too. But okay, so what I didn't like about the scene
Yeah. I think we might be on the same page on this one. Yeah.
is he just sulks in the bedroom for like
Oh,
5 minutes, and he's
5
like,
minutes.
you know
Yeah.
what? No, and then he runs in the bathroom,
Oh
grabs
yeah.
her, pulls her out. She's miraculously fine.
Yeah. Spitting out
And
water.
yeah,
Yeah.
grabs her, throws her on the bed, and wraps her up. And he's like crying, "I'm so sorry, I'm so
Oh,
sorry."
dude.
And I'm like,
Oh my God. Yes.
Miguel, this is the biggest mistake of your life
That
because
was
now she is not gonna trust you again.
that was the biggest mistake the writers had. Like that was the moment, Taylor. That was it. If you kill off that character, it's right there. It's the right moment. It's the right time. The timing is perfect. But nah, Miguel has to be soft like baby
He's
shit and go pick her ass up and get her out of the tub.
yeah,
Big issue there. Big
he
ass issue for me. Yeah.
so the thing with Miguel is he's always been like on the fence of any situation for the most part, not knowing how to handle a certain situation the right
Yes.
way, or he's always battled that. And this comes down to who his character is, right? So
It
he's the
was
son.
established that I think they said it in past seasons, like, you're not like your dad. He's not as
Right.
ruthless. He's not as
Exactly.
ruthless.
So here he's the son of a brutal cartel leader from
Mhm.
Mexico, but his mother and father sent him to Ivy League school in
Yeah.
America. He was supposed to be the clean face of the cartel, right? And so
Mhm.
he's always battled that, like being the clean cut businessman and being the cartel leader on the side, and he can't do both. And this is what he just struggled with Emily. I mean, he backed out because he couldn't do it. He realized that he still loves her at the end of the day. And he
Yeah.
doesn't have the heart. He's not that guy. He's not the kind of person that can just kill her. I do think now Emily is going to be pushed far away from him.
Oh, for sure.
We've
sure.
been seeing them come together and drift apart for like 3 seasons now and not get along. And I think what he is hoping for is that she'll be honest with him. And I think she's going to be even more closed off now,
Yeah.
if anything.
More,
If
most
I would have
yeah.
changed something, I would have just had her die if it were up to
Mm-hmm.
me. But
Mm-hmm.
I do want to know what Elgin is doing with them now, because for this big thing to happen, if it doesn't have a huge payoff for her to
Yeah.
live, then I will be disappointed. But for right now, I'm leaving it open ended because I want to know what he plans on doing with the both of them.
You know what? You know when you're explaining Miguel right now, right? You know what it kind of remind me of?
Who?
Walter White.
Okay.
So, but Walter White did what he needed to do. He that character changed, right? And
Hmm.
then he resorted back a little bit towards the finale. Miguel needs to freaking nut up. This character needs to do what he needs to. I think Emily's storyline is like Felipe's. There's nothing else you could do that's gonna make me warrant like. Well, with Felipe, it's different because like I really like Felipe and I really like the actor and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
just a little different. But with Emily, I don't. I feel like that's it. You don't really need to do. I was. It was weird though that Miguel didn't question her. It's like maybe he saw that script and said, "Oh, I don't need to question her now. I'll just question her later when I take her out of the tub." I think Emily's storyline could have ended right there, and I would have been. I think it would have been justified. I think it would have worked. I'm gonna tell you right now, Taylor. I actually don't believe in Elgin and what he's gonna do with Emily going down the future. I just don't. I don't see it. I don't see it. I think that was the moment. Like I said, that was Jordan game 6, but he passed the ball and they missed the shot and they lost, and then they end up losing the series in game 7. That's how I feel like this was. I think they dropped the ball. I absolutely think they dropped the ball. And that's just not, guys, I know I hate on Emily all the time. And I don't hate on the actress. I think the actress is doing exactly what she needs to do.
Yeah.
Like she's,
Sarah, I will not complain about her.
yes, it's, you gotta just know that these people, this is their job. This is they're given what they're given. They're trying their best to work with. I just, it's not because of the hatred of this character. It's just that moment. I honestly felt, Taylor. I honestly felt, if this is
Yeah.
the way to go, this is the way to go. This is one of those moments that every TV show has, where it's a shocking death, but it's reasonable.
And
It's
I gotta bring this up because I think Joe makes a good point here. Do you
Joe.
think she'll remember that he pushed her under the water? She was passing out. That's
That's a good
a
one.
good question to bring up, because then you have to consider like how much did she, how much wine did she have to drink? Like
Mm-hmm.
are they gonna make her recall that, or are they gonna make her remember? And then I think it was Chris. Did he say something? Oh yeah, Chris J says he's gonna tell her he saved her, bring her close, and
Oh
then turn
yeah,
on her.
that could work.
So I think you guys are thinking along the right lines here. I mean, that's why I say I just want to see where this where this goes.
I think she's gonna remember though before she passed out, and Miguel looking at her
Hmm.
because he was literally like right there with her. So,
Creepy smiling at
so
her.
I think she's gonna pinpoint that, and I think she's a smart cookie. I think she's gonna figure out this motherfucker tried to murder me.
I would lean in that direction myself. That's
Hmm.
I mean, maybe I'm leaning that way more so that
Yeah.
she's just going to be like, holy shit, Aaron was right. And then she's going to call Aaron back and be like, you were right all along, and I don't know. We'll see.
So Taylor, we're gonna move on from this,
Sure.
but I'm gonna say real quick. You did text me though. I asked you, your rating, and you said that this felt like a season finale episode.
To me, yeah.
To you, you felt like a season finale. It would truly have been a special episode, and would have felt truly like a season finale if they would have killed off Emily. I'm just
It
gonna.
still felt like that for me because I was shocked. I didn't expect that
Of that.
maybe yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did kind of like it because for the bathtub and the
Yeah.
wine and all that, it felt like a little unique
Which I
to
agree.
me.
I think a lot. I get what you're saying. I like the uniqueness. I like the music choice. I like the overall playfulness, and then to the dark tone.
Yes,
The
I
only
did
thing
like
I
that.
did not like was the result. I thought the
Okay,
result.
yeah, and
I,
I understand that.
yes, so that's where I'm getting from on that particular scene. That's why I went on a little bit of a mini rant. That was one of the reasons why I went on a little mini rant.
Yeah.
Remember, guys, I'm fresh. I'm raw. I don't back away from what I feel. And what I think that I praise the show, but then when there's moments like these that I have to like really honestly tell you what I'm thinking, you know. So let's move on because I think a lot of people are gonna. Well, you know what? We're gonna get to this little part, and then we're gonna move on to another big part. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I know you guys are excited to hear about this discussion because me and Taylor are a little bit arm's length on this episode, but I love your points, Taylor. That's why I love talking to you every Thursday because you bring out valid points and just just seeing where we're at on this episode. Chucky, Taylor, what did you think about the confirmation of what happened to Chucky? Now, before,
That was
yeah, go for it.
Disappointing, a lazy explanation.
Oh yeah.
A shot in the wind, and I wish that they probably just would have said nothing at all if that's the explanation. Because
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree.
So unlike, first of all, it was not like Chucky to just like, oh, I randomly meet somebody and
that
I fall
is
in
not
love
Chucky's
and I just
character.
bounce.
That
no,
is
it
not
is not
Chucky's character. That's the real. So just to say real quick, somebody did tell me though that the real actor, because of COVID restrictions, and then also that real actor actually moved to Ohio. So
oh yeah, well yeah. I mean still, but
that's not the character. That was lazy. You're absolutely right, Taylor.
Yeah,
absolutely right.
I would have felt better if they just said that either nothing at all, or the explanation would have been like, oh well, you know, his time was up here or whatever, and he like, you know,
yeah, it was
just like either return back because they could have just said he returned back to Redwood, and just like that would that would
have been fine,
and then it would have been up to them.
Sense. That would make
it would have been up to them to bring him back or not at the end of the day, you know. Just saying that he fell in love and bounced, I'm like, so he's never coming back, basically.
Oh, that was confirmation, right? That he ain't coming back.
I guess
that was terrible. I thought that was, and for me, what I said was they should have said that shit in the beginning. Why are they waiting all this time? Because of Steve? That doesn't make that's a little bit too much. Come on.
Mr. Ray says, I'm thinking he didn't come back because of the pandemic. Well, we have been talking about this whenever we bring up the fact that Chucky is missing from the bar. We do bring up that there's something real life that caused that to happen. We're not ignoring the pandemic. We're not ignoring that real things impacted the filming. Yeah. What we're breaking down is how they wrote it into the story. And so what I disagree with was how they decided to explain that.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you, Taylor. I 100% agree with you on this one. This was super disappointing. That was disappointing. That was disappointing as hell. I couldn't believe what I just.
I rolled my eyes and I was just like, really?
Yeah. That's what really.
That's what I said.
That's what I said. Yeah, really. You guys really went that route. Exactly.
Wow. You should have just said nothing.
That I would have been a lot better if they said nothing and everybody kept on asking where Chucky is than that explanation. So that leads into Nails tells us to Steve. Taylor, this is another reason why I went on my mini rant. Okay. So I felt like Steve was the fridge character. I felt like they fridged him because I get the bullying was getting to him. Of course, the death was definitely getting to him. And rewatching the episode, I think it was, I really like Steve. You know, he really brought a lot of fresh air. A lot of like, you liked him as a prospect. You never thought that, I don't know. You know, if he's like really, he's definitely not cut out for this. I thought he might leave. And I thought in this episode, he just might just leave because it's just not for him. But they did a Full Metal Jacket thing on him. And I think it doesn't work. It's not executed well because I don't think the comedian's that strong of an actor to convey convey this suicide, honestly. And when he does commit suicide, I think it just helps out Easy, our main protagonist, to realize that he wants Gabby. I think it was along the lines of fridging a character, in my opinion.
Okay, so here's what I think. I think that the actor who plays Steve,
Momo,
he's
right? Momo.
He's got I always thought that he was going to be temporary. I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh no, yeah, for sure.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed his presence while he was on the show, and I'm
Yes.
really glad that they decided to cast him for this role as the new prospect, because
Absolutely.
they were going to need another prospect anyway
Mm-hmm.
after Easy had patched in at the end of season 2. So
Yeah, he did a
I
great
did
job.
like they brought him in. I thought he played the hell out of Steve, and I really liked what he brought out of Hank. Because he helped
Yeah. The Hank
have us hear
situation.
more from Hank.
Yeah.
But
Hank's worst day. Hank's worst day, I swear.
I don't know. I'm just gonna be honest. I liked what they did with Steve, and I liked how they showed that he just wasn't cut out for the club, and not everyone is. And I think that he had really nobody. He fit the bill of somebody looking for a place to belong, if you will, and he just realized that this is not what, it looks like a fun time, right? It looks like a fun time.
Yeah.
You get to hang out with a bunch of people, there's like a camaraderie. I feel like I will finally fit in somewhere. And unfortunately, he just wasn't cut out for that. And I was shocked and I was saddened by him committing suicide.
Yeah.
And I think that the way that scene was filmed, though, you could just feel it. Like, he's looking around, everyone's laughing. Bishop is telling stories about how Taza blew up the bathroom one time, and
about killing or about beating people up.
Yeah, they're all like laughing and partying, and he's like, he just got the patch, but the weight of killing a man, that's not who Steve is. It got to be too much.
Yep.
And when he grabbed the gun, he looked right at Easy and he's like, dude, and the look on JD Pardo's face, like, I mean, I just loved how that scene went down. And I was so shocked. And I actually liked it.
I believe the comedian's name is Momo. I believe it's Momo something. He did a good job this season. Like, don't get me wrong, he did a great job. He was like I said, Steve was like a nice, fresh air. Just really like you really like this character. That's why a lot of people fucking Steve, because the banter with him and Hank. Here's the thing, Taylor. This is another situation where you're absolutely right. The shot that they did, it kind of reminded me of this Tupac music video that he did with the Outlaws. That was a great shot. That was great lighting. That was a great like kind of POV kind of deal going on there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
So and then that whole scene looked great. It was doing great, but I thought, like the Emily thing, I didn't like the result. I thought it was just for shock value, honestly. I thought you could have absolutely still had the same impact of him just leaving the cut and walking out and not even saying anything.
I disagree.
I think you could. I think that could have. I think the same thing, because Steve, you saw some of the you saw the crumblings, right? You saw of him like the few scenes he had where he was really thinking about that death he did, right? So it just didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel like him just. I know the lead up to that scene, but I just felt like I disagreed. I just don't feel like that was necessary. I feel like that was all for shock value, and that was all for to help Easy as a character to go to Gabby.
I disagree. I think they did a good job establishing Steve for the short time that he was there, and like I'm pretty sure that Momo's character was meant to be temporary, and I felt that from the get-go. They showed him the fresh new prospect. Everyone is like, giving him shit, and he's supposed to be like doing all kinds of things for the club, like how Easy used to do. We saw him have a couple moments with Easy, and where he was like, just like, does it get easier? And, Easy's giving him advice, and, you're hearing that Steve, was bullied, and he wants to feel like he belongs somewhere, and he wants to end the bullying. And then when it leads up to him taking his own life, I feel like that was just another one of Elgin's humanization subplots, where, you've got drug addiction, you've got romance, you've got, breakups, you've got losing a child and divorce, and now you've got suicide, and it's like, I don't know. I just feel like Elgin is just hitting so many things in these characters to make them feel less like cardboard. And I don't know. I just feel differently about it, I guess.
I definitely see what you're saying. I definitely see it. I just think that it wasn't earned. I honestly don't think it was earned. I think that I get that Elgin would want to put that in there, but it's kind of like you it's not enough. It's not enough shown, with Steve going to that moment. I just feel like I've seen so many different, just so many different things where they executed a little bit better by kind of showcasing more of like the crumbling of that character. And I don't know if it's just because maybe it is a little bit of the acting that I was like, maybe he could have conveyed this a little bit better. But I just feel like there's just not, that was kind of just just that moment wasn't I don't know, Taylor. I just feel like it needed more. It needed more room to breathe, and really needed more to showcase Steve's kind of like crumbling of his mentality and his and I know they're conveying that with this, him still lingering on the death and him being patched in, hearing putting in Bishop's stories about beating people and stuff. And then it goes back to like, what did you expect, Steve? What did you expect? What did you think? You saw what these guys have been doing all this time. What did you? I know, I get it. You want to be part of a brotherhood, but I think I would have liked a little bit more time of him, his mentality crumbling, and him making that decision. Because I honestly, truly feel in my gut that yes, I see where Elgin is going with the suicide and being presenting it and for people to be aware of it. But I just feel like that it didn't feel like it was the right timing to do that. And I feel like that's just me though.
I think for 10 episodes, and for him to be gone in episode 9,
Yeah.
and then seeing that how that affected Easy, because
Yeah.
I mean, Easy has been like this before, where he wanted to get out and then he wants to be in. Now he wants to get out again. I think by episode 9, it was appropriate. And I think that, it's going to be too late for Easy now. We already know that it's going to be too late for Easy.
Oh, yeah.
And because the shitstorm is coming, with Paulo turning the other minds against them, there's going to be no time for Easy to even try to get away.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that, right? We all know that it's just like once you're in the life, it's good luck trying to get out of it.
And we got to touch upon the fact that they did finally bring up that Coco had been absent. And the way that they did it was, instead of us just putting him at Templo and making him answer for himself, we're just going to be like, oh, I guess he's not showing up, so we're going to strip the patch off, Coco, and that's going to be it. And it's like, I mean, I would have chosen to do that differently. But
that was. I'm gonna finish this off with Steve real quick.
Sure.
A lot of people have been pointing that Steve is kind of like the guy from Full Metal Jacket. Now, look at Steve and look at the guy from Full Metal Jacket, and I think the Full Metal Jacket has more of an impact, and more of it makes it was more warranted of what, like you saw why he did that. With Steve, you understand why he did that, but I think it could have been execution, like I said, could have been a little bit better. But I do understand like the crumblings were there, and you're absolutely right, Taylor. Like I didn't think Steve or Momo was gonna be here for the whole season.
Right. Or, I got that vibe that he
was there for just temporary. But I honestly would have just had him just leave instead of like just kind of give up the life. Having to carry on that what he did. But that's just me. But I think that's the beauty of like, us having different opinions and different ideas, is that we have two different perspectives of what we saw in this episode. With the Coco thing, boy, like, really baffled by that. He's out. That's it. You give Gilly's little expression, and that's about it.
Yeah, so I mean, let me ask you this, Dan.
Yeah.
They said that Coco's out of the club, so he's not a member anymore. He was kicked out.
Uh,
Knowing that and the fact that he ends up running back to Meth Mountain to try to save Hope and he gets captured and he's being held hostage in Isaac's weird druggy sex dungeon thing. Like,
that was weird, right?
what
That was
is
a lot of
going
sexual tension going on there.
Whoa, like what is gonna happen to Coco? Is Coco making it out of season 3, dude?
I saw that he had like scars on his belly. Like
I
it
don't
looked like
know.
somebody was cutting him up.
I have no idea what to
Be-
make of that scene.
yeah, so he because I think Butterfly was holding he was holding him, right? His abdomen.
Butterflies, like, I don't know,
I
Butterfly
don't
and
know what
Isaac,
the hell is
they
going
just
on.
creep me out. They creep me out, dude. I don't like them at all. They're weird
I
little
thought there's
side
some
antagonists, and
I thought there was some be some sexual stuff happening
they
this
make
episode.
me uncomfortable with how
Yeah.
they talk to and touch Coco. I'm just like, oh, gross, get off. Like,
So
stop.
I do think the mishandling of the whole situation with it just baffles me. It just absolutely baffles me that nobody goes to his house or nobody just really like. I
I
think
felt
the
like that
weakest
was a
thing.
mistake. Yeah, I do believe that that was a mistake. So I agree with you.
I think the weakest thing about the season is Coco, because I think we all could see that they could have done better with
Oh yeah,
Coco.
if if we were to do a discussion
Oh, that's a
of
whole hour and
of
a half of
of
Coco discussion.
episode,
Yeah,
I mean not episode, of season 3 in totality, I
yeah.
guarantee you my feelings would be a little bit more harsh as I'm looking at the whole season. But you got to
Mhm.
remember, I'm doing it week to week, and so I'm really only just seeing. I'm
Yeah.
taking it one episode at a time. That's all I'm doing right now.
Well,
But
we said that it's warranted if the payoff is great
it started out good. Like
and
Coco's arc did start out good,
stretched
but
too long.
it stretched too long. They were too loose on his relationship and his what's the word that I'm looking for? His responsibilities to the
Hmm.
MC,
Yeah,
and they just let that slide out the window. And
they
I
let that
don't.
slide so bad.
Yes,
This
so
is
I don't like that.
that's the realism, right? That's the realism I'm talking about. Like this doesn't make any sense. Like, how does Bishop? What are you doing? Or
And
anybody?
yet,
Or
and I think
Creeper?
that it's more. Yeah, it's definitely more so. Because you just saw Creeper say, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah.
Who came back from? He's out of jail now. So yay, Creeper, welcome back.
Hey, Creep coming back, but that
Yeah,
party got cut short.
it sure did, dude. Yeah. So where was I? Yeah. So
Yeah.
Creeper was checking in on Coco. We had Gilly being like, "Hey, what's up?" And then after that, it kind of just fizzled out. And maybe you could chalk that up to being part of Bishop's arc and Taza's arc, where everyone is just so distracted
Uh huh. Yeah. I
that
mean,
that's why he's slipped through the cracks.
that's
I
a.
guess if you wanted to make an excuse, you could use that as an excuse.
It's starting to become like a weak excuse, right? I mean, if that's your boy, I have 4 friends that I consider my brothers. They're not blood. I just known them since second grade, and hell, I don't really see them all the time. But you know what I do? I give them a quick text, or I give them a quick call. How you doing, man? You want to go get some brew?
I was really heartbroken to see that the little argument that Coco and Letty had before he left, though.
That was a good one. I like that scene. It was very.
I really do feel for Letty because she was making changes in her own life.
Yeah.
She was starting
Which
to
we
follow.
said. We said was gonna
We
happen, right? We said that
Yeah,
she's doing. She's the
she's
grown
trying
up
to
out of the relationship.
she is trying to set him straight. He was trying to run off to save Hope, and then Letty just begging him, like, no, don't choose her over me. Like, don't choose the drugs. Don't choose her.
Uh-huh.
I feel like
He
I really
accused
feel for
her.
Letty. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
What
It
you
was
do? What you
horrible.
fucking do? What do you mean? What
Mhm.
did I fucking do? Like that
Yeah.
was a great. That's what addicts, or
Yeah.
somebody who doesn't appreciate that other person as well. I've had a cousin who was in
Yeah.
alcohol, and I tried to take a beer away from him and said, you need to stop, man." And that dude wanted to fight me. Like that's how. So that scene is realistic. That makes sense. And then him knowing that, Isaac is going to hurt Hope, and then Isaac has this whole little thing about like, Hope was the tagged little sheep or
Yeah.
tagged whatever. And then I gotta say, Taylor, Coco's plan was really stupid. It was like, what did you expect, Coco? You know, you've been through this already. You know, Isaac has eyes everywhere. What did you expect? I mean,
I just
the emotion is there.
can
I
I
should
just
say.
say
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of his white Jax Teller boxer briefs. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like,
yeah. I know. That's why I was like, dude, there's gonna be a lot of there's something's going down. There's some rape gonna go happen or something like that.
I
Because I was
actually
like,
that was
oh,
making me really nervous
yeah,
because I
right.
was like
After seeing
really
those
that
naked
the whole
almost.
scene made me uncomfortable. Like for him as a character, I was just like, what the hell? These guys are already creepy as it is, you know. So who knows what's going on? And
Yeah.
you know, he was already detoxing himself, and I mean, when Isaac just like put the needle in his leg and gave him another dose, I was just like, fuck, that's it. That's it
So
for Coco.
so Joe made some two great points. Joe
Okay.
said they burned Coco's Mayan tat off? Question mark. Maybe
I
they're
didn't
doing it,
I
but
didn't
it seemed like
see.
it seems like there were wounds. Did you see like the little wounds that when
I saw
butterflies took?
like some lacerations on him, but I didn't see the back. I mean, that might be something I have to go back and look because it was a little bit dark in that scene. I'm not saying like it was completely invisible, but I think I was more wrapped up in what Isaac was saying and what was going on to notice that if it was there.
Yeah, it was super. It was brief. It was like fast, but that would be
Hmm.
nuts if they were doing that. Joe also said Coco ran out of the house in his underwear. I think he had a robe. I think he had pants on though. I think they took off pants. No, did he have a shirt on? No, I think he definitely had pants on. So he wasn't just in his underwear. I think. But no, the Coco. This is where I mean we still have one more episode, and I'm assuming that Coco escapes. Maybe Hope helps him. I think Letitia or Letty tells the crew about his situation because she does mention like why don't you talk to your brothers? You know, it's like that's a
Hmm.
fucking death sentence.
Yeah.
So I think he'll get out of it, and I think Isaac will probably die in the season finale, or it could be vice versa. Or Coco, this would be, I guess, the time to kill off a character like that. But I don't see it happening at this point.
Yeah.
I thought if they wanted to kill him off, they could have killed him off like
I
when he
think
OD'd.
all we can do is really just wait until the last episode, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the finale, and then you and I can break down his whole arc as
Yeah,
this, you know,
yeah.
from the season, and then we'll take it from there.
We'll leave the judgment until the season finale.
Sure.
So I will take away that from the mini rant I did, even though I just really like it's just really it was a frustrating episode for me, Taylor.
I
It was
understand.
there was good. I agree. We've hit on a lot of the good stuff, but then when it was like frustrating for the fact that
You
I
want to
guess
talk about
decision making.
frustrating? Because here's where I can tell you, and maybe you'll agree with me.
Let's do it.
This forced love triangle between Hank, Nails, and Angel. Can we talk about
Oh,
that, please?
another fucking unnecessary thing. What the hell? What?
So I don't want
Oh,
anyone to feel confused. I mean, I know I rated this a 9 out of 10,
yeah.
but I'm not saying that it was a home run. Okay, so I
And
do
I'm
have
not saying that this was the worst thing ever either. I'm saying
right,
that there's some
right,
good. There's
yes,
really we just touched upon a lot of the good stuff.
right.
But
So I do have things that I don't like,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
don't like this
Oh my
love
god.
triangle that they're setting up. And
Oh.
Hank was like, you could just see he asked her, he's like, so would you like to come have dinner with me and
Oh
my mother?
yeah.
And this stupid girl, she could have just been like, you know what?
She
I don't think
fucking
that's gonna work.
accepted.
She's like, yeah, that's great.
Oh my
Stupid. Why would you
god.
say that, Nails?
And
And then
of course, you know, hey, you know, interruption constantly before she could spit out what she want to say. Oh my god, Taylor, you're
keep forcing these interruptions. Oh, Hank, get in here. We need to have a meeting. And he's like, oh, I guess I'll talk to you later. And then during the party, Angel
party.
says she's got the ring on. I feel like their relationship was built on
Ugh.
just hookups, and I don't see that lasting. I know
That's
Angel.
absolutely not gonna last.
Angel,
My two uncles are I always say they should never get married. Angel should never get married because he reminds me of my damn uncles.
he has a bad relationship with his own father, and I think when he found out that Adelita was pregnant, he
Mm-hmm.
thought it was his. He was worried that he was going to mess it up for sure, but he looked at it as a way to break the cycle and kind of change that dynamic from father to son.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Angel really thinks he needs that in his life because when he's alone, he is self-destructive, and
Yeah.
he
You Yeah.
He's self-destructive when he's alone, and I think he needs something to focus on. And maybe looking at having a baby is not the best way to make changes in your life, but it's certainly a start. Especially if you have a little baby that's about to come into the world,
He
you
feels
better
like he
start
can't
shaping up.
change. He feels like
Yeah,
he could change, which is,
he and
yeah,
he feels he can't change without it though. He needs that to be forced to change.
absolutely. That's
That's the
why.
thing about his character where it could be his downfall is if the
Uh-huh.
only way that he can change is if he's forced to step up and be a father and think about his baby. Now, when it comes to Hank being like, you
Oh
just
God, Hank.
evil looks across that bar. I was like, if looks could kill, Angel would
Wow.
be dropping dead.
Wow. So you're absolutely right with Angel, because Angel does have that conversation with Easy in the truck when he picks him up from prison. He talks about Adelita and about the baby, and then
It feels
and
it feels
Easy
weird.
laughs. Easy laughs when he says like, "Well, you'll be another girl. You'll start a family." Nails. She's pregnant, man. Like
You need to wrap that, dude. You got that 100 proof baby juice.
you want. I know, right? And I'd always like the banter, and I think this is the really strong. This is why the show works a lot in some levels too. Is the relationship with Easy and Angel, right? I really like that
Mhm.
the chemistry those two actors have. They really do feel like
I
brothers.
do. I do like the casting choice, and it seems like JD and Clayton play off each other very well.
Very well. Like they known each other for a very long time.
Sure, and it just works in their scenes. I think one thing that's hard for me to get over is the fact that okay, JD is playing the younger brother, but he's older than Clayton,
Oh,
and it
really? I
just
didn't know that.
yeah, I
It's just
think in
because
our
maybe
life,
Clayton because has that nice little rugged
it's the
beard.
beard.
Just
Yeah,
the
that's what it
beard.
is.
If you cut that off, then like what?
And you got JD rocking this goatee here
Hmm.
for a while, but I mean that's
Taylor,
neither here nor there.
Taylor, you nailed it, because this also goes to like couples, right? People who are either married or couples. Let's have a baby after like fighting constantly after months and months. Like they think this is
Or an
gonna
accident. I mean, yeah.
it's
So
gonna
this
solve
baby
all their
wasn't.
problems. It's not gonna solve. We, the
No, it
audience, know
doesn't.
that Angel, he's gonna continue to do what he does. Bang other chicks. So wow, man. I mean, when Nails accepted that dinner invitation, I'm like, you already know you're fucking like you already know that he likes you, and you what are you doing? What are you doing? The where are they going with this, Taylor? Where are they going with this? What is the purpose of
That's
this?
a huge question that I have because I mean, is it just to make
To give Hank
tension?
something to do?
Is
Is
it
it
yeah, that's what I want to know. Is it going to be an appropriate tool to grow Hank as a character or is it going to be just a way to add other drama that I will see in season 4? I don't know. And I saw his reaction after cuz this happened before Steve. And
mm-hmm.
then you already see that Hank is upset. And I think, somebody said it in the comments here that maybe Nails didn't know the best way to let Hank down.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that some girls can relate to sometimes. And
In high
instead of,
school,
I mean, it doesn't really matter like at what point in your life. I feel like some people really struggle with telling the truth.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. There is some people that I
And she
think
should have just told him the truth.
I'll give you that one. I mean, it's just I feel like it's kind of odd because it's like they're
It does feel
adults
odd.
and
I'm
they're in a club.
agreeing. Yeah. And so that's
It's a
why I don't
different.
know what they're doing with this.
I
And
don't.
when that happened before Steve, and then after Steve killed himself,
Yeah.
we saw Hank for a moment smoking a cigarette. And that's not something that his character does. There's a lot of other smokers in the club,
Yeah.
but we've never seen Hank smoke. So that's really interesting
It's
to
funny
me.
you touch upon that. I'm like, fucking Emily smokes a lot in this, like in these seasons. You notice that she smokes a lot. Just to throw that in real quick. I will say though, after Steve's death, I really felt bad for Hank because like Hank's this like he was proud. He was like that was like his son, and he's like, you're patched in, you're my boy. Like look at him, he's speechless. Like Hank was honestly just absolutely ecstatic that Steve was being patched in.
Yeah.
He thought he was in on the end with Nails. This is the worst day of Hank's life. Steve commits suicide, and I think that's what's gonna hurt him a lot more than with
So
the Nails
that's
thing.
that's why I'm like, all right, this has to be going somewhere. There has to be a greater a greater plan that is not obvious to us, you know,
Yeah.
but Elgin knows where he's going with this. Because if
Maybe.
it's gonna make Hank
Yeah.
like a harder character, then let me see him become a harder character.
He looks like he should be, right? He looks like he
He
should
does,
be.
and I
Yeah,
was
and he
kind of
is. He is somewhat like we saw him in the
interesting
fights and stuff. Yeah.
to see him be a little bit gentle and, you know, trying to romance Nails and ask her to come to his mom's house for dinner. And I was like, bro, you.
Taylor, come on. You know, I'm like that's like me though. Like I'm a gentle soul, but if you mess with me, I'm throwing up the dukes. You know, don't mess with me. I will go
I think
Super
he's
Saiyan on
going to
your
be
ass.
angry at Angel because I think Hank, and maybe Hank is right. Maybe Hank feels like he's better for Nails and the baby than Angel is. And I think that's where the anger was setting in for his character is he's looking at, you know, they're happy in that moment when they're making the announcement. But I think Hank knows Angel.
Yeah, yeah,
And
and
he knows that Angel is going to mess this up one way or another or hurt Nails. And I think that's what Hank is more angry about.
I
That
think
he's better for her than Angel.
the only thing I could think of is this going down is Hank ends up being with Nails in the future. That's the only thing I could. I've seen a lot of like you know shipping couples and all that stuff. This kind of feels like you know a Hank and Nails is
And
like in the future.
yeah, and let's talk about that little baby for a second that Nails is pregnant with,
Mm-hmm.
because does that mean like season 4 we're gonna see the baby? We
A
had
little time skip.
I still need to answer the question of, is Adelita's baby really dead or not? Is
No.
Potter raising it and he's
Um.
gonna come back somewhere or somehow with this?
Remember, he
Or
still
is
has
Adel
Angel's number.
I know, like that's what I'm still confused about. And I need to have that resolved for me
Messy. It's a little
soon.
messy. It's a, well.
Well,
It's
it
right now. It's
requires
messy.
work. It
Yeah.
requires work of the viewer because you have to remember this stuff. Because it's so easy to forget about it
Yeah.
when you go long periods of time. And
Absolutely.
you and I have talked about how this could be tightened up a lot. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's one of the things that need to be tightened up because I'm sitting here remembering that these things have to be resolved. And I'm like, one more episode. Are you
Mm-hmm.
going to conclude that for me, or are you going to save it until season 4?
Well, we should say that, like, you know, a lot of these storylines, or some of these storylines, are definitely not going to be concluded. I mean, the SOA thing's not going to be
There's going to be
concluded.
a lot. Yeah, Montez is not going to be concluded
Maltese still
in the
salty as shit.
finale.
Yeah,
He's
like,
like a pickle now. He's all dehydrated and
yeah.
mummified, and
So I honest 100% think that Adelita and Angel's baby's alive. I think Potter is going to make a cameo in the season finale, but this is not going to finish off that storyline. Like these are right now, this episode is messy to me, but then they could hit a home run in season finale where it makes sense. That's why we take it like you know one episode at a time.
right.
We get our feelings out on you know what we saw on maybe today, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to change your mind you know later on. There has been shows where it drags and it's not very good in the beginning, picks up in the middle, and then nails it at the end. So it's kind of
Right.
like that scenario.
And I think I keep bringing this point around too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got 2 previous seasons under one showrunner, and now this season is Elgin's first time doing it by himself.
Yeah.
So I'm taking more leniences and giving maybe the episodes a little bit of a higher rating because
Yes.
I can see that he is trying to branch previous character setup, previous plot points
And you know,
into what he's doing now. And now I feel like season 4 is going to be a lot better because he branched some connections. He concludes some things, brings it into other things. And I think the more distance we have between season 2 and season 1, the better, because then we won't have a lot of lingering stuff. We still had stuff that he's working on that was left off in season 2.
yeah, and I'm getting so many comments about you know what if Sutter was you know doing season 3, this and that, and maybe I think in the future we'll have an honest talk after the season finale about like you know see. You got to realize, guys, Elgin James and his crew are doing they know the pressure. They know, you know, the fan base.
Yeah.
And they know that they're going to constantly get Sutter this, Sutter that. You got to
And I don't like that they have to live in that shadow.
it's not fair. Give them a chance and then, you know, Yes, Sutter he created this whole thing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like they're
He's
putting in the
gone.
effort.
He's
I
gone.
do.
He is
Yeah.
gone. Elgin is here. Give him a chance. It's commenting about Sutter constantly. It's not going to change the fact that this is where we're at right now. It may some down the line because Disney is known to bring some people back in, but right now that's not it. So my critique on Elgin is he's doing a bang up job for season 3. I think he's establishing more of the Mayans and their even at this point, he's establishing more, and he wants to do more with the crew, the club. Yes, it's been messy along the way. They had a strong start, but him and his crew, I believe, are doing a good job. And if I'm going to critique him, I'm going to tell him to get better with less storyline, better execution, and better maybe touch up on the writing, leave less of the fat going into season 4. I believe in Elgin and his crew. I believe we can continue to get better, and I think season 4 could be, and even the season finale could be amazing. I think season 3 so far has been a win. That's how I feel about the whole thing. It is what it is, guys. We can't just keep with the past. Let's move on to the future, and let's celebrate that we're getting a season 4 at all.
Yeah.
So we're gonna finish this off because we got one more storyline to talk about, and this was like,
Sure.
I love how we went from Hank and Nails and Angel,
I know.
and now we're gonna go to me, another high school kind of thing going on with Taylor, 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 Taylor. I'm gonna be honest with you. So
And you always are.
when Easy and the whole Gabby situation, and I liked Gabby in the beginning.
Yeah.
Easy running off on his motorcycle, running to Gabby at the end of the episode. Didn't that didn't that seem like a teenage romantic movie type of scene where
Yeah.
like got to stop her before she goes on a plane?
Yes, I agree with you. I do. It's
This
funny that
is
you said that.
this was another thing, Taylor. I'm just so tired of it. This is another thing where I was like, let her go, man. Like, you guys know this is not going to work. I get that now he's realized he's doing. Okay, so I say let's not delve into the past. I got to see the season finale. I got to see the
Mhm.
season finale to really warrant if my words are true on this episode. But I'm seeing a lot of storyline that I've seen before of Easy giving up the patch, giving up the cut
Yes.
to go to be with Gabby. Where have we seen that before? Do you honestly think that this is gonna work, especially with the Bishop plan that's going to happen? Also, shout outs to Ibarra. I thought the acting was great on that.
Oh
Remember,
yeah.
this guy was a referee. He's doing a great job. I really like his look too. So just a little shout out. So if you think that Easy, and then if you think Marcus is going to kill Easy, that's not going to happen. Easy, Taylor, I'm just going to let you go with it because I just like
Sure.
so frustrated with this too, with this as well.
So I'd be willing to make a little prediction for the finale if
Oh,
I
go
can.
go
If
go!
I
That's
can.
that's what we're doing. That's what we do on Thursdays.
So I think we're gonna see like maybe at the beginning ish of the at least in the first half of the finale episode, we're gonna see Easy looks like he's packing a bag, getting
Yeah.
ready to go so he can leave with
Talk to Angel. That's happening. He's gonna have that
yeah,
talk with Angel. Yeah.
yeah, he's gonna have that talk with Angel. Maybe he's considering packing a bag and leaving with Gabby, but something's gonna stop him, and he's not gonna have. He's the club's gonna ask him to go meet somewhere, or he's got to go do something, and he'll
Yeah.
tell Gabby like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll meet up with you soon. I'll be there soon." And then a whole bunch of shit is gonna kick off, and he's never gonna be able to get away with Gabby.
Yeah, I mean, he did have the conversation with Felipe, and at this point, Felipe is just there to either hear his boys' conversation, be present on the fight, or eventually tell Miguel the whole truth. The conversation with Felipe, how he talks about like this kind of like this rage in him,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he constantly says it in the season and even in this episode. Anything for the club, he tells Creeper that. So, and then Bishop, if you see Bishop calls the kid to hear his input, which was when he beat up those two guys. Bishop now has all the confidence in the world with Easy. Before he was in his shit list,
Yeah.
and now he's just like, that's my golden boy. That's my golden goose. You think Bishop's gonna let him walk away? He sees something in him.
No, I don't.
I
And,
mean,
and let
he'll
me
let
bring up,
Coco apparently.
you brought up Felipe really quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Felipe's story is maybe coming to a close. Like, I don't want to be
Maybe,
that
yeah.
person who thinks that a lot of people are going to die.
That's
Um,
me. I hope.
but I'm not sure what else they could do with Felipe other than resolve the situation with Miguel
With
about is
Miguel.
he or isn't he the father of
Yeah.
Miguel, because they haven't really concluded that yet. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
Yeah.
And after the situation between Emily and Miguel, where he tried to drown her,
Yeah.
will Emily go back and visit Felipe again and talk to him about what's going on? Will he be like, or will she be like, he knows something, or you better, maybe she'll give them a little bit of a warning. Who knows?
Yeah, that could actually absolutely work. But I do think that, for Miguel's answers, he's gonna have to rely on Felipe, right? Because Emily ain't gonna tell
Because
him shit after
yeah,
that.
I mean, yeah,
If
well,
she realizes that he tried to kill her.
right. I think that would have to be resolved between Miguel and Felipe, and then
Mm-hmm.
I guess in the finale we'll see where Felipe ends up as a character.
Uh
But
huh.
that's that. I have to tell you, wherever Felipe ends up, if if it happens to be a confrontation between him and Miguel,
Mm-hmm.
that's also going to be a preventative. This ties back to Easy trying to leave and run off with Gabby. He's
Yeah.
not going to be able to just run off on his dad, I don't think, if his dad is in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. That might be the reason why he stays, right? And
Who
then,
knows? Like, it's hard to predict. I've been pleasantly surprised.
uh huh.
I've also been a little bit disappointed. I just it's hard to say what's going to happen.
I guess I've been. This episode was more like it didn't shock me, but you're absolutely right that they did take a little different turns here and there.
Hmm.
There were sharp turns in this one. Didn't shock me though. It's kind of like knowing that the Yeti's going to be on that Mount Everest Disney ride. Like the Yeti's coming, but that sharp turn like scares the shit out of you because I'm afraid of heights.
Yeah.
Um, I think our prediction might be coming to fruition, and that prediction is Gabby's probably going to die. I
Or
don't.
she's just going to bounce without him. And that's what
Oh, yeah,
this
you're
is my
right. You're
prediction.
right. You're right.
So
Yeah,
I know
that could
we were
still
talking a
happen.
lot about her getting fridged,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people were thinking that she'll just up and leave, and I think they could be right too, because
Yeah, that
I
could be.
I think if I
Mhm.
were to maybe guess how it would play out, it would be like they're he's got to do something for the club. He's supposed to meet up with her so they can leave together,
Yeah,
and he doesn't end up getting there, and she's sitting there waiting and waiting for him,
yeah.
and she decides to leave on her own. That's what
So,
I think could happen.
so we should give this a 50-50, 50
Deader
50
just
shot.
runs away. Yep.
Heads, she leaves. She knows Easy's not going to show up.
Hmm.
Tails, we have like
Yep.
another
I think
Opie
if she's
situation.
going to live, she's gonna just be left waiting without him, and then
Yeah.
decide to leave on her own.
Now, this is where my frustration comes in. If there is a scenario going into the finale, this is where I'm going to hold judgment. This is like, I guess this will be two reviews in one because they set up so much, right?
Right.
Where it could go a lot of different ways in the season finale. I think they're going to nail the season finale. I think they're going to do some stuff that maybe we haven't seen before. But
Yeah.
if they end up doing the stuff that we've seen before,
Yeah.
aka Easy and Gabby being maybe like a Jax and Tara or an Opie situation, I'm gonna be extremely, extremely upset. But here's the difference, guys. I do have the confidence that they're not gonna go that route. I do. You're absolutely right, Taylor. It might be a 50-50 shot on Gabby.
Yeah.
So either she leaves or she ends up being killed. I hopefully not killed like in the same like plot line as Opie's situation. Because Marcus is gonna. I don't know what Marcus is gonna do. I
I
don't think
know there's so many things that it's just like, how do you
yeah,
like, how do you think it's gonna go? You could guess, but the chances are you're probably going to be wrong.
So
I mean, we've been right. We've had a lot of commenters have some surprisingly correct predictions, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I also don't like being correct too much, because if the show is too predictable, then in my opinion, it's not well written.
How funny is that? Is that we don't want to be correct. I think that's the mini rant I did was more frustration because I don't want to be correct. I don't want to say these things and for it to happen. I want some uniqueness, some imagination. I have the confidence that they're going to be able to do that for the season finale, because I actually really liked the season finale last season. And I think they're going to nail it this season. I don't want to be correct that this is going to be the same tread that we already done.
Yeah.
I wanted something a little different. So it's so funny that we talk to you guys and we critique, we predict, we break down, we give our opinions, but sometimes we just don't want to be right, you know? So this is it's just funny how the world works like that. So we'll see. It can go a lot of different ways, especially with a lot of these storylines. It's all going to come down to the season finale though. So I hope they execute it really well. Yeah. Let's get into some comments real quick, Taylor. I know we've been
going for a long time. I'm sorry, Chad. We usually get to you guys a little bit more, but there was.
I know you guys wanted
Dan
to know,
and I disagree. We disagreed on quite a lot, so there was.
When we disagree, it goes longer. Sure. You know, it goes because I think everybody in the chat really appreciates and
really I appreciate I appreciate their patience too.
Yeah, and like I said, guys, I know I've been commenting on some of your guys' stuff on the reviews, explaining some of the thought process of mine and seeing where your guys is coming from. I'm not going to agree with you guys sometimes. I'm going to agree with you guys sometimes. The beauty of it, this whole thing, this is what I do. This is talk that I do every day with just my friends, my family. I love to discuss something that I've watched, that you've watched, and see where we're at. This is what me and Taylor do. I love to hear. This is why we have two opinions when we do this breakdown prediction.
Right. If you're hearing just one person's side, maybe you won't agree with that person. And if maybe something Dan says that you agree with, good. Now you feel like you're not the only one who feels or thinks that way about an episode. Or maybe there's something that I said that you agree with me about, but disagree with Dan. I mean, there's two different points of view here. And hopefully...
I never want you guys to be afraid to speak your mind. If you want to, I'm here to bring that out of you. If you want an example, you go see my Godzilla versus Kong review and rant, and you'll see how many dislikes I have for likes. I'm not going to be afraid to speak my mind, and I don't want you guys to be afraid to speak your mind either.
Exactly.
This is why I comment to every single one of your guys' comments, and I will continue to do my best as this channel grows, because I want to hear what your opinion is. So we're gonna just read off a couple, and then we're gonna end the stream. I want to get to at least a couple of you guys, so if you guys start putting down your comments now, because I'm not going to scroll up. I'm sorry. I want to read the newest comments right here. And just to let you guys know, push the like button, please. Would really appreciate it. Makes it channel grow. Make sure you tell all your friends and family about the channel. Let's subscribe. Let's keep building. Let's keep going with this. Let's see. Juan Gonzalez. That's Nestor's point. That's Nestor pointing the gun at Alvarez's head. So I think he might.
Was he talking about the preview? Yeah, the promo for next.
Okay. Woo! You know, when Miguel was talking about Easy, I was just thinking about Nestor and Angel too. It's like,
oh yeah,
how crazy would that have been, huh? Damn, if that's true, my boy? Oh, Marcus, I want to see more of you. I don't want to see you succumb, but it might happen. Taylor, I think that one you got on the money. Kaba, I think when the reviewers have different opinions is when it is a good show. Exactly. I think why listen to the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
Different opinions. Oh yeah, Chris has said it's all Letty's fault most of the time. But she's grown. She's grown. She's the adult out of the two.
I really, if Coco ends up going, then I would hope they wouldn't get rid of Letty, because I would like to see her. You know, maybe the club will take care of her. I don't know. Like, I would just
be the new bartender, take over for Nails.
Yeah, or take Chucky's spot. I mean, whatever. I would just love for them to somehow keep her in.
Chucky.
I know.
Mark, what's going on, Mark? Mark says, I feel like the finale will be crazy, but we're still going to be left with a huge cliffhanger. Of course.
Yes,
Now that we got season
absolutely.
4, a go.
Of course, they're gonna have a cliffhanger.
Oh yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it as long as they do finish off a lot of the storylines that they've implanted.
Sure.
Kei Shoguki TV, what's up, Kei? How is Coco gonna get out of Meth Mountain? I think either Hope's help, maybe the crew's help. Letty tells the crew, or maybe he doesn't get out of it at all. Taylor.
I don't know. I can't see him. He would
Plus,
have to rescue
yeah.
himself because how is the club going to know where to find him? They don't know where he's been.
Oh, well, yeah, because Letty doesn't know where the hell he is.
So how? Yeah, and Gary thinks that maybe Letty, I think, is what you're trying to say, Gary. That maybe Letty will somehow, like, find a way somehow to find him.
I don't. Yeah, I think it has to be.
So, like, her tablet. If I'm gonna go conspiratorial here in predictions, okay. So listen to this, guys. If Letty has an app on her phone to find her tablet, Butterfly has the tablet.
Yeah,
what if she turns it on and like, oh, maybe he went over here, or maybe this person who has my tablet knows where he is. I don't know.
No, that makes actually that I love that. I love that you said that because they did establish the tablet. They'd established the tablet early on in the season,
right?
So come into play.
It just maybe could be like a little thing that she uses to find him, because she saw him just run off like that, and I wouldn't put it past her to be smart and just do something like that.
Yeah, I mean that could totally. Yeah, great point, Taylor. Great. We might bring that back into the. That might come to play. Yes, for sure. Sinister, what's going on, Sinister? Nestor looked guilty, kind of. Yeah, he did. So Taylor Kaba says, "Did you notice that Alvarez mentioned Isaiah?"
Yes.
Isaiah? Yeah, right. I can't say it right. Sorry. Yeah. I was like the second viewing because it was kind of.
Is it too little, too late though? I mean, it's been so many years. Is it a little too late for him to bring it up? Or is it a nice callback? Like, how do you guys feel about that?
I'm gonna say it's a nice callback, just because we constantly talk about it.
I know. I feel like I've heard a lot of people say, "Well, he did kill his son, and it's just like he did it with like no problem."
I think I say that every stream that we're on. Yeah, like
close to it.
It's a nice little callback. It's a nice little recognizing the situation and stuff. So I liked it. I'll say I liked it. Grim, if I'm being honest, I could see Gabby's death coming from a mile away. She's extremely not fit for the life. I don't see her making the terror switch into the life of an old lady. Absolutely right, but there's a 50-50 chance that she, like Taylor said, she could just walk away. There's still that opportunity. Okay, we'll get a couple more and then we're gonna end it. Johnny, what's going on, Johnny? Looking forward for a new prospect next season. Who would you like to see? John Leguizamo. John's old. John's an old guy. I do like Leguizamo. A new prospect. Taylor, do you have any ideas who you'd like to see as a new prospect? They always seem to get like no name guys.
Okay, so maybe you guys won't agree with me, but I think Efren Ramirez, is that his name? He was in Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, I've been watching. Talking about the friend. The friend.
Yeah, I've been watching South.
Pedro.
I think is it Eastbound and Down?
It's great.
Kenny Powers. Okay, so I'm catching up on that on the side because I dropped it many years ago and I haven't finished it. And I don't know. I saw Efren in there and I was like, you know what? Why not do a cameo? Like, I like this guy.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah,
I know. I have like a random name.
But hey, throw it out there. Another good show is Vice Principals. That's a good.
I love that show, and I'm sad that it didn't go for longer.
Yeah, but it was great though, right? It was
really great. It was funny as hell.
So
vote for Pedro.
Vote for Pedro. Jack says Emily gonna take off scared. Galindo gonna be heartbroken. Then M's sister gonna come back and talk to M, and Galindo gonna kill M's sister.
Either he's gonna successfully lie to Emily about,
which he does all the time.
Yeah, either he's going to successfully lie to her and make it seem like he saved her, or she's going to be aware of what happened and keep him at arm's length and probably go even harder to help Easy or anybody go against him. Like, who knows at that point?
Mm-hmm.
I think she could have just died and it would have been okay. But I want to see where they're going to take it.
We'll see where they take it. Everything might be justified. Going to the season finale. Eric, real quick. Hey, I'm curious. I really want your thoughts on what about Nestor taking up Alvarez, not telling Miguel that Alvarez knew about the motorcycle tracks. You think, Taylor, that interior motive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there might be because Taylor and I feel like maybe Nestor has some like jealousy towards Alvarez, and then
I think he's been able to hide it pretty well and make it look like he's working very well with Alvarez when inside he really just wants to push Alvarez aside and take his seat next to Mikey like he used to.
Paul, I got some Coca-Cola now. Dan, you got that sweet Pepsi Mango. Hey, it's funny. I got my haircut yesterday, and my buddy's like, "Oh, I saw your review on that Pepsi Mango. I've been drinking that nonstop." Yeah, so I did a review on the new Pepsi Mango. If you guys haven't tried it, that is the official sponsor of this this chat that we do every Thursday about Pepsi Mango and hot cocoa and coffee, apparently. Okay, guys, I'm sorry that we didn't get to the comments. We'll try better next time. There was just a lot to talk about. There was a lot of me and Taylor had different opinions on this one. I think you guys enjoyed hearing both sides of the conversation. So yeah, I mean, the season finale is next week. We'll have a special guest. We'll have Sandra on board. Sandra will be coming on board, and I think she's me and her. I mean, if things go down with Marcus, we're gonna have a lot of talk. I think we're open with Marcus next the season finale. But this was a great talk, Taylor. This is it's funny because Paul did go check out my Kong and Godzilla video. He's like, holy shit, there is a lot of dislikes. Yeah, there's a lot there. So but this is what I love doing this, Taylor. I love chatting with you. And everybody always wants to hear your opinion as well. And they want to know what you think. And I love that we could sometimes, not agree on some stuff because we're just, what we said earlier that, everybody is different that way. This was another good chat. Thank you, Taylor, for once again, joining me. We got season finale next week, Taylor.
I know. Exciting.
So it's very exciting. I wonder how long that's going to be. I wonder if it's going to be a little bit more longer than an hour and 5 minutes.
If not longer than about the same time is what I expect. And I would suggest that you make sure that your laptop is charged because it's probably going to be a long stream.
My thing
especially with Sandra, because we're going to have to hear from Sandra as well.
So we're at an hour and 46. I think that will probably be in like at least over 2 hours.
You guys better buckle up. Make sure you guys get your potty breaks in. Make sure you got snacks and drinks.
Yep. I definitely gonna make sure you got your Pepsi Mango going on. I might crack open a beer actually to celebrate the season finale, good or bad. I will crack open a beer and we will. It's gonna be early
at 9 in the morning.
Why the hell not? It's 12 o'clock. Your destination over there, so why not? Or 11 o'clock. Whoa, whatever. Treat yourself. Damn it.
Treat yourself, fool.
So thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
You guys are awesome. Continue, please. Do not be afraid. Continue to comment. Comment on the channel. Comment on the videos. Michael, I know me and you, we're constantly commenting and we're disagreeing, but I appreciate your opinion, man. Also, shout outs to everybody who's on this chat. Shout outs to Grim, Paul, Randy. I didn't get it to your comment, Randy, but Randy, you're awesome. Randy was more harsher than her. She gave it a 5.
Yeah.
Harsher.
Everyone's got their own opinions. That's totally fine. And I'm sure that, when you rate it a 5, you have valid reasons for doing so.
Jack, real quick, Jack said Pedro Pascal as the prospect.
Yeah. Oh,
Pedro's in everything, right?
I
would love to see at least Diego Luna in the show somehow. That would be great.
Okay, maybe. I don't know. I want Efren Ramirez. That's what I want.
I know you want it. So, Yeah, so guys, check out the channel. Got all my reviews up. Got movie, TV. I do got snack reviews. I just put out the Batman Christopher Nolan trilogy video. I worked really hard on that one. Please go take a look at that. Leave a like, share it, like this video, and then also just have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful weekend. I know you guys are hungover from Cinco de Mayo, so recover. Drink a lot of Gatorade. So I'm Dan the Man, aka Daniel